Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay, the #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. We got a fantastic show for you today. Before we jump into everything, though, a few house cleaning items. First, we want to thank all of our patrons and all of our subscribers for supporting us. Thank you guys so much. We really couldn't do what we do without you guys building the website, bringing this podcast to you. We have a new podcast that we just launched last week called the Squadcast. It involves our new pro testing team, the Squad, aka, because we did not really think of a better name. There's probably like 10 different people. I can't name them all here. We'll figure it out. Go look at YouTube. You can see it. Also, this
I'm not on that one.
Yeah, you're not on that one. It's a good one. It was the podcast that said that Yordle and Arms would no longer be the best deck, and was very accurate. This Saturday, we'll come back to that. This Saturday, we have a $500 free to enter tournament. Thanks to GG Tour, who we are running it with. You can sign up. We should probably have the link in the description, but if not, go to masteringruneterra.com. There's a big banner. Click on there. It's going to be on smash.gg. You can probably find it on there as well, or on the GG Tour website. I think that is all the house cleaning items that I can remember. This podcast is also brought to you by Manscaped. If you want your face to look as good as Bay's,
Not like this, because I have a beard and stubble.
Please go to. Just kidding. They're not. I wish. We should reach out.
That would rock, though. Yeah.
Right. They sponsor a lot of stuff. I feel like
they do.
I feel like we got a demographic they would be about. You know. Okay. Anyway, moving on to serious things. Bay, how you doing?
I'm doing. Been playing so much Runeterra in the last 2 days.
Like so much Runeterra.
So much.
Bro,
Runeterra.
I literally I was late coming here because I was like one more game. I'm just kidding. I was like 15 minutes before. I was like, okay, stop playing, go get ready, and then I was just late anyway because that's how I roll. But I've been playing. It's been hard to get work done. It's been really hard. I canceled some dinner plans yesterday. It was like I need to work, and it was true. I did need to work. But
on the ladder, do work.
But there was a lot of ladder climbing work to be done. Okay, I want to start because I've been having a great climb. I started on Mono Shurima, as many people did. And
everyone did.
Ran into 3 or 4 mirrors immediately, and I played it a decent amount. I started somewhere near the bottom. I definitely hit 0 LP, which is sad because I was at 400 LP earlier in the season. And just poop that all away somehow. It's easy if you're not really paying attention. You're not really playing your A game.
It's I'll try this deck out. Oh, I'll play a couple games right now while I watch this YouTube video.
So fast. And so I climbed up into over 100 with Mono Shurima. But then the format started changing against it. Basically, people that were playing decks that were bad against it kind of stopped playing it, and there's a lot of hate kind of coming towards it. And the deck also, I feel, kind of loses to itself a little bit. I feel like it has a slight consistency issue, which is maybe why Swim built that terrible version with all the predicts. I'm just kidding. I didn't actually try it, but it didn't look particularly good, and apparently it's not. And so then I switched over.
Depends on who you ask. I've heard both, which is
people saying it's
I'm with
nuts.
You. It looks terrible, right?
Yeah,
it's like the streaming version with all the predicts.
Yeah, when I played against it, I was also not particularly inspired.
No, because my opponent would just draw a bunch of bad do-nothings.
Yeah.
There's 6 predict cards that are 0/1 mana that don't draw anything. So, I would just kill their champion, and then that was that.
Every time what's the -2 and predict?
Yeah, Scrying Sands. You're
every time they hit, they go to cast something, I'm like, oh, it's quick, so I'm gonna get blown out, and then they Scrying Sands. I'm like, oh, that's adorable. That's so cute.
Yeah. I don't know, It's definitely one of the better goldfish ones, right? Like if you're looking, if you're playing against, well, a goldfish, that's where that term came from. Then it's one of the better ones because it like just does its game plan um, more often. Like you're just not gonna miss generally because you're predicting all the time. But once your opponent starts interacting with what you're doing, especially if they don't tunnel vision on the Sundisk, if they just like kill your champs, just like, or they just like attack you, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it makes it a lot more difficult. You don't have the 3/3 that turns into the 5/3 fearsome anymore. So like you can't play a mid range plan with this. You're all in on combo, which is great if it works, kind of.
Yeah, sometimes
But
it's
a lot of
hard
times,
to
yeah.
like Zerath gets tough to level sometimes. Zerath?
Yeah.
I don't even want
Xerath.
Zerath.
Xerath is usually the one people struggle with leveling. Like there's a lot of points where I'll be playing like, because I've been playing a lot of Tri-Beam, and my opponent will have like 3 Roiling Sands and a Xerath or whatever, or 3 Roiling Sands, and they need to level Xerath, and I just like won't play another unit like ever. I just like
How,
I have
how do
like
you do it with
leveled
that deck
Ezreal, and
though?
I'm just like, nope,
Oh, okay, yeah.
not doing that.
You just have a leveled Ezreal that didn't die.
Or like
That's
Caitlyn,
that's
right? You know,
cool.
just like something, just like bing,
Yeah,
bing,
yeah.
bing.
I've done that quite a bit. I've been playing Riven
Oh, Victor, yeah.
Victor, which I did not like those decks in the past, but oh my god, do I love this deck. I liked it, so I started playing it, and I was doing some winning. I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. But I've gone to that level now where I'm like getting close to like, I don't know what you call it, like mastering the deck, you know? I'm seeing, like, I know the mana points for like all the turns of all the different cards and all the things that they create, and like all the different interactions with stuff. By the way, if you're picking this deck up, there is a lot to learn. There's like so many intricacies with I don't know, things working in different ways that I didn't maybe realize that they would or not. And I think one of the strengths of the deck is that your opponents typically don't quite understand exactly what's going on. For instance, a lot of the time, the Riven spell, like the blade that comes together, that's slow speed. Like so many times, I'm like, oh man, if they counter this, I'm just like dead here, and just like no one ever counters it ever. I feel like people just are like, it doesn't do a whole lot. It's not super. Or maybe they just can't. I don't know, but it's never been countered once. So I've been on
Countered being
absolute
like actual counter spells or like killing the unit you're putting it on.
like actual counter spells.
I haven't seen an actual counter spell. Like
I mean,
straight
right up
up
negation. You've seen a lot of right up negation.
That's true. Right up negation. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. I was
Yeah.
thinking like deny or nopify.
Yeah. So I have a 77% win percentage on the deck, which is pretty bonkers. And I'm playing like I'm like number 60 on the ladder right now. 16. Like almost 500 LP. So I'm playing people like MTuck and Black Boss and Blue God, and I'm playing against a lot of the top players, and I still have like a pretty ridiculous win percentage. So like that deck is very hot right now. It'll definitely get brought down as the meta starts to adapt to it a little bit more, because it has some weaknesses for sure, and a lot of my opponents, I think, have definitely made quite a few mistakes where they thought they were safe and they weren't, which is a very common. I used to do that all the time playing against the deck. Like, oh, what could they do here? They just hit you for 50.
They ambush you and overwhelm it, and you're like,
they ambush you, overwhelm it, and then do the 4-drop that
Reckoner.
hit you again with it. And then what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I'm crushing with that deck. Really like it. It's very good. One of the things I wanted to bring up though, most matchups I found right now to be pretty good. I was really surprised by the one matchup that I've been kind of struggling against, and it's Tree, of all things. So check this out. They have the aggro plan, right? Which is very legit, and you don't deal super well with Swarm. The way that you beat them is like outracing them. But now, you just kill them. But Tree has a bunch of great removal to stop you, right? Because you go all in on like 1 or 2 big units, and like they've got Flock, they've got Scorched Earth, they got Mini Morph, and then even the one that deals 3 damage, Buster Shot.
Buster Shot. That one's really good.
Buster Shot kills your cat, your elusive kitty, Nioid Sentry. Is that
kills everything but your champs.
Yeah, because everything but your champs, because your bots. So like their removal suite ends up lining up really nicely against you while they aggro you down. So that's one of the tougher matchups. Not like unwinnable or anything, but I was surprised. So you think the tree,
You'd
you think
expect
slow,
to roll them,
right?
And
Yeah,
you're like, oh, weak to burn. I have that. Like,
yeah. So that was really interesting. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm really curious. What do you think? Where would you stop climbing in LP this season?
I wouldn't. Well, for me
Really?
personally, right? I'm only going for worlds points.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like in my case, it's someone that wants to
I
make
have
the
no
7-2
idea.
cut. Yeah,
We
now
have
you're
so
saying.
long. You can't stop. 1,000 maybe.
I mean, you have to make
Probably
top 30,
1,000.
right? I was thinking 700.
Yeah, I would go for 1,000. Just rip it.
You're not afraid of like falling down? Like right now, while I feel like I'm ahead of the. If you're ahead of the meta, like where I feel like I am right now.
Yeah, don't stop playing. Yeah.
Yeah, you just keep going, right? But then eventually the meta catches up to you, and it gets scary, right? That's where you're going up and up and up and up, and then all of a sudden those free wins aren't there anymore, and like the meta's shifted around you, and you can't really play that deck. You'll start coming back down, and if you just keep going after it, like because you never know when that's going to happen. That's the scary thing, right? Because sometimes, you just go on a bad streak. It happens. You just go on a roll run bad. You don't know if that's happening, or if another 200 LP later, you're like, oh wait, no, I'm just like behind it now.
Well, this season has a lot going for it. It's longer, and there's a lot of new stuff happening during the season. So I think more people are going to play to get to seasonals. Also, Worlds was announced again, and then the last seasonal, I had to get to like 650 to be safe at 7-2. So I would push it to 1,000.
Wow. Yeah. No, you're totally correct. I totally forgot about Worlds qualifying points. Like those are massive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, everyone's not trying to just sit on top 30 now. People are trying to make it into top 10, top 5. And so everyone's going to be just pushing the whole way. Oh, Jesus, what a grind.
Yep. At least ladder matters. Remember back when like they didn't have the tiebreakers and you just qualify for seasonals and then like twiddle your thumbs? I hated that, man. Those were the dark times for me.
Like when they had the 5-0?
Yeah.
Oh, we already had a couple of those though.
Yes, but that sucked because you'd qualify and then you go, now what do I do?
Oh, yeah, yes. You make top 1,200 and then it's just like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's like top 700 or whatever for seasonals qualifications.
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking Magic.
Hated that. Much prefer this. Much prefer this. Love having a reason to play.
Yes, totally agree.
Riven Victor.
Sorry, back to it. Yes.
Very strong. Currently the highest win rate deck in Masters. I do think it's the strongest iteration of the deck we've seen. However, this happens every single season. There's always a Riven ambush deck that like just fucks shit up in like the first 5 days of like a patch or a new set. Usually it's Feint HD who builds it. It always stays a real deck. Go ahead.
Feint's version is with Akshan.
I don't like it.
I do not like it at all. On paper, I was like, this looks hot. I'm going to give this a try. I played 2 games with it. It was like, but no, not for me. Like, I don't, hats off to Feint because he wins with these decks all the time. He's been crushing. But I honestly don't know how because.
Yeah. I played like 5 games of it. I won 2 and I was like, oh yeah, word. And then like, I just didn't have Akshan the other 3 games and like just lost horribly.
Yeah.
Wasn't even remotely close.
Not even close. That's what happened to me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, the deck's very good. We'll see if it continues to have legs. I think it probably will, more so than the other versions.
I think so too, because of Victor.
But like, yeah, the deck will get worse.
Yeah,
I've been playing Aphelios mostly. Like, okay, I was playing a lot of Aphelios, mostly the PNZ one because I think that's where the best version's gonna lie. In the PNZ one, the full Targum one, and the Shadow Isles one, the heavier Shadow Isle splash. I've been playing all 3 of those. They're fine. Aphelios Victor and Aphelios Zoe PNZ feels exactly the same as Zoe Vi did all those seasons ago, which is one of my favorite decks of all time. It ended up being like an insane pick in tournaments if you could pilot it really well.
Yeah.
But that deck had to be adapted exactly to what the meta was. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it played on like really thin margins.
Yep.
And this deck feels exactly the same. But since we don't really know what we're going up against right now, and Shurima just kind of hoses Aphelios in general, it's tough. It's tough to be a sad Moonboy at the moment.
Yeah.
Still sitting at like a 50+% win rate, but like barely 50, like 51 kind of.
That's rough.
Yeah. The deck I've been playing a lot and succeeding with is Caitlyn Ezreal Tribeam. One, you get a lot of non-games against Mono Shurima where they have the attack token on odd, and on turn 2 you just scorched earth the Sundisk.
I
Can you
swear
still
those
lose from
people.
there?
I
Yeah.
swear those people are just playing those wrong though. Because like Mono Shurima is actually like not a super easy
not
deck
that
to
bad.
play.
Oh, okay. Yes, I agree. I also do think it is totally winnable. I have both won from the Shurima side and lost from the Tribeam side after blowing up the Sundisk. However, you just have to like both players have to switch how they're playing the game, right? Sundisk is gone. It's a different game now, right? Now it's like mid-range versus mid-range.
You know what's interesting though? I think that game state that you're talking about, that switch, I feel like the Mono Shurima player should probably be in that mode from the beginning, aka like not going for the combo, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just
that's how I play the Mono Shurima.
Yes.
I play it to play against mid range against like Scorched Earth decks, and then with the Scorched Earth decks, I will we were talking about this because you full mull for like Scorched, or someone was saying, oh, I full mull for Scorched here, and they were looking to ship like really good cards like Tribeam Caitlyn. And I was like, no, we keep Tribeam Caitlyn. And if like Scorch comes up, that's sick, and we can like fire it off if we find a spot, but we're not going to go all in for it because it's like, it's not worth it. You want to play, you have to have a good game plan first. And then if the Scorch comes up. But like, even if you don't blow up Scorched Earth, you're not like dead. You're fine. You're still playing a normal game, right?
And even if like, you blow it up, you can still lose a lot of the time.
Yeah, you still have to play the normal game. So I want
you're kind of like down. You're down a card all of a sudden too. You got to remember.
You're down a card and 3 mana.
Yeah.
It's not nothing. You're pretty far behind. This is why I don't like Swim's version with the predict and the not 3/3 that turns into a landmark, because without that card, you lose the ability to fight back after your Sundisk gets blown up.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the best card.
Tools.
I think the best card from Mono Shurima is the 4 mana 3/2 that searches up a champ and gives it +2/+2. Yeah, just so bonkers. Like you want to slam that down, Zareth. And then you want to Hourglass, Ancient Hourglass. What is that? The 2 mana bounce it out.
Yeah,
that thing as soon as you get safely that through and like get another one, and now your champions are just gigantic. Oh man,
I prefer not to Hourglass it though. I prefer to just play my Zareth and have Hourglass up for Zareth.
Yeah, I mean, like, depends what you have in your hand, whatever. Yeah. But as soon as that chain starts happening, we're like a second. I don't think I've seen Mono Shurima lose after it had 2 big champs. They're just so tough to deal with. They're so big.
They're very tough to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
tough.
Just
in most matchups. In most matchups, that card is just what you want.
And right at the arcane dealing 4 is like a really big deal. It kills Ezreal's, it kills Caitlyn's, it kills Pale Cascaded Aphelios's, it kills Victor's,
Victor,
it kills
Riven. Yeah,
it's really important.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little tip. Hold on, real quick. If you're playing the Riven deck against a deck that has Red the Arcane, try to wait until you can put her down and then level her immediately up to 5, because you can do it focus speed. Like on.
So you have to pass priority, right?
Yeah, so I'm saying like if you can sort it out so you can get her to play on their turn,
and then you
and then you go to your turn and level her. I do that very often.
Yeah. I'll try to do that with Victor, is not play him until I can level him too. It's tough though. He kind of like 7 created cards is a lot if you're not playing the Victor cards. You know what I mean?
You're not playing the Riven cards, also.
No. I'm talking about the Aphelios deck, but yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
A little different. Yeah, you get to flip Victor pretty easily. Because of the
easier for sure.
Stuff. Easier, yeah. So yeah, Tribeam, really love Tribeam. It's no surprise that I love Tribeam. Aphelios will get better as the meta solidifies. I 100% believe this. I think the big thing though we have to talk about is Yordle and Arms.
Yeah, real quick. Remember what Tribeam was for?
Yeah, those were the days, man.
How did that card ever cost 4 mana?
I think it was fine at 4. It was like really good, but like
it's insane. It was it's really good at 5. It's really good at 5 mana.
Yeah. No, it was really good. It was really good. it's a high payoff card for a high deck building restriction, but yeah, it was really insane.
Okay, so next up, Yordle in Arms. For anyone that caught the Runeterra show, it's basically me against the rest of the team. And I was saying that Yordle in Arms is like not the big crazy problem that people like. Everyone's freaking out that it didn't get touched. And I've played about 1 or 2 Yordle in Arms decks in the last like 40 matches. It's like
It is
not around.
the highest win rate deck in the game besides your Victor Ribbon deck. At 60%. Both versions.
Both versions.
Yep. Fizz Lulu and Tristana.
Let me take a look. One thing I will say also, have you noticed that Runeterra AR, like the stats are a little bit off?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. For instance, like, okay, well maybe they've caught back up. You know what? Maybe it was just when the patch first came out. I don't know. Like sometimes there's just I don't know. Like it has the different settings. Like if you go last 2 days or whatever, and like things are just like not adding up correctly. Like I think it was yesterday. The patch had been out for 2 days, and it was showing like 1,000 matches, 3,000 matches total across all 3 shards or whatever. So like it just kind of like I guess wasn't up to date or whatever.
Yeah, probably. It takes like a couple hours, I think, to refresh or something. I don't know how this works.
Well, you can only call,
I don't know why I'm pretending to know how this works.
I love it when you do it, though. You can only call information from the API so often.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you keep going. I'm taking a peek at these.
Yordle Arms is still very, very strong.
57.98.
Oh, really? Wow. It was 60.8 last night.
Fizz Lulu is 60.
It's really good. It's really good. And I think the only reason we're not seeing more of it is people hate to be that guy. One, it's not a fun deck, like in my opinion. Some people I'm sure love it, but like it's not a fun deck to play. It's very reliant on like whether or not you draw Yordle Arms.
Okay, hold up though. That's if you're on all 3. Those stats are if you're on all 3 servers put together. If you go Americas only, all ranks, current patch, and they're both at 55%. Okay, should we go Masters only?
Yeah.
Because I think it might go down.
You think it goes down?
Here we go. Akshan Nar, 65%.
Jesus.
But again, though, it's 500.
Paper Nario. Yeah.
But so this is a problem with Runeterra AR. So I go America's current patch Masters, and all it shows me is Action Nar as number 1 in matches played, and then Swain Nar, Darkness, Fizz Nar, and then Nar Ziggs.
Yeah, that's not correct.
It shows me only 5 decks.
That's not right.
So
all right, we'll ignore Runeterra AR for the rest of this.
There's that other website. It's soon to be masteringruneterra.com.
Ayo. I'm getting different stuff. My highest matches is Mono Shurima, then Aphelios Victor PNZ, Ezreal Caitlyn, Darkness, Fizz Lulu at 60.78 win percentage, and then Tristana at 60.6. That's what I'm getting.
Are you on America's current patch?
Oh, that's everyone. My bad.
There you go.
Yeah, no, there's definitely something wrong with that data because I could tell you for sure it's Mono Shurima, then it's Aphelios Victor PNZ.
Yeah, Mono Shurima's not even on there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Yordle Arm's still very, very strong. It's been like that
for a while.
Yordle Arm's still very, very strong. The only reason I think the only reason people aren't playing it is because they don't want to. They want to play new stuff. And it will, I believe, get touched in the future. I think it kind of needs to still. Did it get like hit? Yeah, it did. But like it's still pretty insane.
How does Mono Shurima do against it?
Probably not good.
No, I think you just kind of level super quickly against them and like.
Well, like Lulu Chompers is like kind of nuts.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we should. This is one of the problems.
Which is insane.
We say Yordle in Arms, but there's 2 different Yordle in Arms decks, really. And I agree. I think the Fizz Lulu, I think, should be good against it because you got
crush it,
elusives and burn.
But Tristana has
though
rally.
Yeah,
which is so good against Mono Shurima.
Rally against my god deck, bruh. Gonna Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the Cards you, no problem.
What is happening here?
What's it called when as the year levels and you get the what is it? What's it called? Isn't it the God deck?
Oh. I don't know. Actually,
That's what
it's
it
like the
was.
Pharaoh's deck. No, it's not.
Is it the
It might
Pharaoh's
be.
deck?
I don't know. I don't know.
Pharaoh's deck makes more
And
sense.
then he goes, "Tell the people what you've seen today."
Yeah.
Did you see my
It's
thumbnail?
it's a sweet line.
We're getting so off track, but did you see my Mono Shurima thumbnail? You did, and you hated it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, no, I didn't get it. You had to explain it to me. Like, you're too
Yep.
old. I was like, oh.
It's like a super deep fried meme with like Azir, but his head's like I like made it really big, and then he's pointing, and it's very deep fried. He's got the red eye, and it just says Barima with like the B emoji, and I thought it was so funny.
I
And
don't
then
get
Jason's like, I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Anyway, Mono Shurima is going to go down in play rate once people realize that you beat it by
Already has.
already has and will continue to. Let's see. Aphelios is going to go down in play rate, up in win rate, is my opinion, in the next couple weeks, in the next 2 weeks. That is my prediction. Yordle and Arms will probably go a little down in win rate, probably go a little up in play rate.
How does
And yeah.
Aphelios piles do against the Yordle Norm piles?
Not very good. Yeah.
But in your expert opinion, what does do well against Yordle and Arms? Nothing, because the deck is cracked.
I mean, Darkness, right? You still just play
does it?
Darkness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're like
Okay, let's get
Whale,
pushed up.
Malfeast.
How does Darkness beat Mono? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm the one doing the sidetrack. You go. We should sit here.
But yeah, no.
Okay, so what about this? No, I'm joking.
I mean, the answer is like, what beats Yordle and Arms? And it's like, not much. That's why it has a 60% win rate, right? Like Yordle and Arms, if Yordle and Arms draws Yordle and Arms against like most decks, you just kind of lose. Now, the Tribeam deck, I do think beats up on the Lulu Fizz one.
Yeah, because you can run them out of stuff.
You run them out of stuff. Now, the Tristana one, that is not the case. They have Ranger's Resolve. Those owls are such a pain in the ass because they have Spell Shield. And yeah, like the 1/2 Fae guy that makes the owls, like all that kind of stuff, it's just a problem for the Tribeam deck. Plus Rally. Rally's really good.
Yep. Totally agree. What else were what were some other big changes? Victor has really impressed me. Victor is like a legit champion now. I'm glad.
He's a real card.
And frankly, Aphelios is a real champion again, and he's not overpowered, so that's also fantastic. That's some good work.
No, Aphelios is fantastic. It's the shell we're trying to figure out. If you hot take, if Yordle and Arms gets ticked down, like it gets hit by anything, and Fangs becomes a 3/2 again, Aphelios is the undisputed best tier 1 deck. That's my hot take.
You really just need 1 power on Fangs to turn that bad boy around.
1 power on Fangs, Yordle and Arms nerfed.
What does the 1 power change?
I get to play it again. Fangs trades into so much as a 3/2, and like the lifesteal is such a big deal. You could play Nami Aphelios with Fangs, which is like really good. There's just it does a lot for you. Like Fangs was such a big deal for the Aphelios Targon decks. Honestly, like ask what am I how he feels about like how good Targon would be with a Fangs buff.
You play Goat, just gem it. You good to go.
Just gem it, bro. It's fine.
Just gem it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just put a Yumi on it, bro.
Fangs also Fangs also shores up like spider matchups and stuff like that. Like without Fangs, it can be kind of tough. No, I'm just saying those kind of matchups, the burn style matchups, even like your Victor.
There is some stuff with Fierce, I'm sure.
Fangs having 3 lifesteal is like it's a really big deal.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. It just seems like a bit of a stretch to me that you're like, this 1 power on this 1 unit will completely change this deck from being like 51%.
I don't think it will completely change the deck.
You're the best deck in the format.
I think Yordle and Arms is one of its harder matchups. I think if that gets hit and Fangs helps it along, we give the format 2 weeks. We have some time to build a shell and like figure out what we need to be playing against, and Aphelios will be like really, really good. Really, really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree. I feel like Aphelios will still be good though. I think like you're saying, once the format coalesces, slims down into just a few decks, then you could totally make an Aphelios pile that will be good against those.
agree.
Let's talk about tournaments for a second, because we were talking about best of one here, right? Which is like, I mean, as we know, it's a totally different animal. Does Aphelios must get much better in a tournament setting? No.
Yes, that has generally been the case.
Yeah. Right.
Targon decks in general have done very well in tournaments.
So, next Saturday is going to be like probably the first. I don't know if there's tournaments happening this weekend, but I mean, the format's still very new. By next Saturday, people have had enough time to suss things out. I'm really excited to see what ends up doing well there. What would you bring if you were bringing like a lineup? An Aphelios X? Like, do you even play Lee Sin Zoe?
No, don't play Lee Sin Zoe. I'm not ready to play Lee. Lee is going to become a tournament pick where you have to build it a certain way to combat a meta you're expecting, right? Lee is no longer the 52% win rate on ladder deck. He needs to be fine-tuned for an expected meta. Lee could be an anti-control deck, although that's pretty hard with Darkness being like the control deck. Or you could even build him to be like more aggressive style decks, but you have to you kind of have to pick one at this point. And
So
we just don't know where the meta's at.
What's even good? So you got a Yordles and Arms deck?
Oh, then you can't play Lee. If you don't have all the copies of Eye of the Dragon, you can't play Lee Sin into Yordle and Arms.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if you're not playing Lee, what is in your lineup?
That's a great question. I have no clue. No idea. An Aphelios deck, probably, because that sounds really fun. And then honestly, the question is like, what then? And probably Tri-Beam, because I just like Tri-Beam a lot. Sure. And then I'd try to figure out something that works with those two. So if I'm playing PNZ Aphelios plus Tri-Beam, what kind of goes with that? And the answer is, I don't know.
Okay, how about answer this one for me? Do you think Mono Shurima gets better in a tournament setting?
Tournaments? Yes.
I think it does too.
Mono Shurima is a control killing powerhouse, just like Bandletree.
And as you've seen on the ladder, it's like this. When I think of Mono Shurima, I think of like you ever see like those graphs of how like gravity affects like space time? And it's like, here's the planet, and it like bends bends the whole space time down in the gravity. That's how that's the meta. And Mono Shurima is like this huge planet or star that's like, and then like everything has to bend around it, because that's what the ladder's like right now. You can't really, at least you couldn't in the first few days when there's so much Mono Shurima. You couldn't play. There's a lot of decks that Mono Shurima just dumpsters, and you really couldn't be playing them. Mm-hmm. And in a tournament setting, you're forced to kind of bring some of these decks. You're saying it dumpsters Aphelios, for instance. You were saying, right? A lot of people probably bring Aphelios decks. Well, guess what? That's a good place to be. There's a whole bunch of other decks that's quite good against also. So yeah, I would not be surprised if that becomes sort of like the linchpin or the pillar. It's like, do you play it? Do you ban it? That's probably the deck, right? That everything kind of revolves around. I think a lot of strategies will probably be on ban it and could just be, not have to deal with it.
Definitely could be.
Because not enough people are going to bring it really to target it.
Who knows?
I don't think.
I don't think so either, but I have no idea. We are also a while from like making any really big guesses, I suppose, about the format.
We will know in 1 week.
We need at least a few more days. We'll know in 1 week. Yep.
Yeah, I think they're still shaking out.
Mm-hmm. So I'm upset because now I got to go play that stupid Riven Victor deck.
No, don't.
I gotta at least try it.
No, please don't.
Just
don't stream it or don't record a YouTube video.
I wouldn't stream it. Yeah.
Only our lovely listeners will get to know that literally we're gonna get off this podcast. So I'm gonna be like, need to print more LP before podcast gets out.
I'm gonna go Not that we have some pizza and try.
There's already a decent amount of people that are on it, but it's still not quite as many as it should be. And the deck is also weird. It's like a weird deck. You really gotta put in a little bit of reps to it. Some tips maybe that I've picked up. The champions are very important. Your timing of your augment units and like when you play your spells, very important. Against Mono Shurima, I go pretty hard on leveling Riven really quickly. So I want like the 1-drop and the 2-drop that give you the blade pieces,
Things, yeah.
and then level her, get her up to 5 toughness as quickly as possible, and then they don't really have great ways of dealing with her. And while they're trying to figure out how they deal with her, you get like more units and attack them more and then burn them out. Yeah, so that's kind of like figuring out if you're on the Riven plan or the Victor plan against each deck has been really important. And I gotta say, the deck's actually really fun. I'm having so much fun playing it. I feel like a little bit guilty. I weirdly feel like it's not a deck I'm supposed to like. What is this? But I found like so many cool lines, so many weird wins.
That's how I felt
really
about
enjoying it.
Akshan Sivir for the longest time, because I hate Demacia rally decks, but I love Akshan Sivir. Akshan Sivir is one of my favorite decks in the game right now. And winning, I love winning. So every time I'd play it and I'd win, I'd be like, I would feel guilty because I'm like, I'm not supposed to like this deck.
That's exactly
but I'm
how
like really
I feel.
enjoying this.
That's exactly
really
how
nice.
I feel. Where's Akshan Sivir at now? Where's all these other Demacia decks? Scouts seems a bad place.
Scouts, yeah. Honestly, Akshan Sivir's probably fine. Now it won't do well against Tribeam, and it won't do well against your Victor Riven. It probably won't do well against Aphelios either, because you get Gravitum Calibrum cycle.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's particularly great against Mono Shurima.
Who knows? I mean, Spell Shield.
I played it a couple times.
Like still good, right? Spell Shield, Absolver, Rally.
Yeah, we got Quicksand now. Pop that bad boy. Throw a Rite of whatever at it. Rite of the 4-mana one. Is it Arcane?
Arcane, yeah. That's pretty. That's
Oh, you think that's tough? That's not that tough.
Or killing with the Rite of Arcane. You'd have to like start with Rite of Arcane, pop Spell Shield, and then Quicksand.
Or you just pop it with pop it with Rite of Arcane, and then you just have Quicksand waiting for whatever. Yeah, I don't know if the matchup's necessarily like bad or whatever. I played it twice, and I might have gone 1-1. I might have gone 2-0.
Another one to keep your eye on is Pantheon Yuumi. Still putting up numbers.
Yeah.
Really not surprising.
Yeah, that deck is still very good. But not what it was.
No. Although Camphor, the Doubt.
Oh yes.
Is now a real
card. Tell everyone what this does, because what is the name of this card? Is there some story here?
Yes, I just don't know what it is.
Okay.
But it's now like a 6/5 for 6 that if you've targeted allies 4+ rounds, which you should do by 6 or 7, probably 7, then when you play it, it gets Spell Shield, Overwhelm, and Challenger. So it's like a souped up Rune Runner, basically. It's a build your own Rune Runner. What am I says it's very good. I have not actually gotten to play it yet. I played one game of Pantheon and lost. I had Camphor in my hand and didn't get the opportunity to play it. I'll try it a couple more times, but
yeah, I don't think Pantheon's one I'm going to be picking up anytime soon. One, it's never been my cup of tea, and two, I can't see it being a particularly amazing tournament deck.
Yeah, I love Shyvana Pantheon. I really like Shyvana Pantheon.
I like Shyvana Pantheon too.
Like Dragon Chow, Dragon's Clutch, Shyvana, like those are fun cards. This Yuumi Pantheon deck puts me to sleep.
Yeah, well, you're kind of doing
so boring.
You do one thing a turn most of the time.
Yeah,
kind of just like you just match it out.
Overwhelm unit, Yuumi, attack.
Hope you don't have the one thing that stops me. You didn't.
Single
I
combat,
win.
maybe.
You did. I lose.
It's brutal. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but it's a deck that's doing well, and we need to keep an eye on it. Any other ones you want to go over really quick? Because I gotta go try out this deck now.
What, bro? You trying to get my LP? No, I'll see you. I'll see you on the ladder, bro. Let's take a quick look. One of the things I do want to say though is when we're talking about things like a lot of these decks have like fallen into a nice balance, kind of where they're at. One that I want to see get some love is an old favorite of yours. I want to see Deep get some love. Like that's like an old fan favorite, and the deck's just non-existent. We can't just like give it just a little just like they haven't even tried, which is I think weird. And like that seems like a deck to me that people would want around. It's like good, kind of fair. It does kind of cute, cool stuff eventually, and like it's a unique mechanic. I want to see Deep get some love.
Yeah, Deep needs like a new card.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I would love for them. I'd love for them to print like they're printing these new cards like during the patch. I'd love for them to give Deep one that helped it into the meta.
Yeah. I think if you gave Deep a new sea monster and a different champion, Maokai's so bad.
Yeah.
You play Maokai as your inevitable win condition, and that's it. And he's terrible.
Yeah. Sometimes Turbo Maokai is like the nuts, and you're like, how did they just do that to me?
Yeah.
But typically, no. Yeah, he got a little crap. What if they made him bigger? What if they made him a little beefier? What is he now? 1-4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what if they made him like a 3-4?
Ooh. I mean, if you make him a 1-5, that's honestly a more sizable buff, in my opinion.
Oh. Because you just want to be a wall.
You just want him to sit there so you can get the saplings, right?
I mean, like, if he's got more power, though, you can't, like, attack through him. Because that's one problem.
True.
Everything's big now. Everything's bigger. So with one power, it's like just attack through him. I don't care. Put one power on one of my things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just keep attacking you next turn.
Yeah. I would like to see Deep get some love. Honestly, with this patch, we haven't actually said it yet, and we probably should. We probably should have talked about this earlier. I'm very happy with the patch.
Yeah.
I was very happy with it when it came out. When the patch notes came out, I'm very happy with it now. I would just like to see Yordle and Arms get touched, which we kind of expect to happen, and I would like Tree to get changed, which we know is going to happen.
How do we know?
That's it. Because they said it.
What?
I think it was Deadbolt Doris.
I feel like I'm the only one that likes the Tree deck. I can't be because lots of people play it everywhere.
Pretty close
but
to
like,
it. Yeah, it's miserable, dude. It's miserable.
I love it. It's so much fun. It's not overpowered. What the fuck's the problem?
It's got the most polarizing matchups in the game, which is not fun.
I'm sure there's something with more polarizing matchups. I can't think of it right now. What's wrong with having polarizing matchups? Soraka Tom Kench has polarizing matchups. It crushes like 2 decks. It loses to everything else. Super polarizing, bro.
I think Soraka Tom is actually less polarized than people think. It's polarized in like...
It's just bad against everything.
I was going to say like Anivia is like the one deck that it like just curb stomps, right? It used to be Lee, but like honestly, kind of.
That's another deck I kind of like. Everyone hates like these like alternate win cons, but like if you have polarizing matchups, guess what? Some of your matchups suck. Like that's dangerous. Like aggro has that too. Aggro has that too. You dumpster a bunch of decks as aggro, but then you just like literally can't beat a bunch of stuff. It's polarizing.
Sure,
and that's
Like, the biggest problem with Tree though. The biggest problem with Tree is if we go into a tournament and I bring a deck that's weak to Tree, you can bring 3 copies of it.
So what? So if you run into a lineup that's good into Tree, you're dead. Game over, bro. GG.
You should be. You should.
Adios.
But
you're
Tree
dead.
wins a lot more than it should in its bad matchups.
Says the Lee Sin player.
The one who gets stomped by Tree.
I'm just saying. Lee Sin has been literally a tournament effing crusher forever.
And they nerfed it. What's your point?
Oh, they did not nerf it. It just went back to being what it used to be.
It's gone.
Whatever. Oh, whatever. Yeah.
You're acting like they didn't nerf
No. I believe you. We'll never see Lee Sin win another tournament ever again.
You will. Yeah, you will.
I will say this though. What if you couldn't bring? What if they did card lock somehow? If you couldn't bring Triple Tree, would that make it okay in your books?
I'd still want it to get changed. I fucking hate it.
Like,
yeah. I hate it so much. But it would help. It would help. Yeah. Because I could just ban it, right?
Because that I'm not on board for. That I don't like. But you can't really do that though, because then it kind of messes things up. Like if you only bring like 3 Pale Cascades and 3 single combats,
on your Mystic shots. Yeah. There's a reason why they picked Riot Lock instead of Card Lock. But yeah, trees. It's honestly, it's just miserable to play against. I think I made this analogy before, but like playing against Tree feels like punching a wall of sand. Like you just keep punching at it, and they just never run out of sand. It just keeps falling down, and it's such a pain in the ass. It's such. I do
remember when I used to play decks that were bad against Tree, and it was like that.
All my favorite decks are bad against Tree, except like Akshan Sivir.
Guess what, baby? Your fucking decks were crushing format after format after season after season. So you just got Aphelios back, okay? Why you crying?
I'm so happy about that. Well, that's what I'm saying. I love this patch.
Moonboy back.
I would like to have these 2 things.
You got Moonboy. You got Lee Sin. Okay. Let me have my fucking tree. I'm just saying he's still the same card. It's like
He's still the same card. You're right. He's still the same card.
okay, before it went to like the 6 copies of
I.
What was it before that? Was that Sparklefly?
It was Goat Eye. It was Goat Eye Sparklefly Mentor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that deck, which was like strictly.
Do you
worse.
think we could bring Sparklefly back to 2 now that you can't search it up?
No. Sparklefly and Nami should honestly Nami. Aikato's been saying this.
I don't want
Nami is a time bomb.
Yeah, I agree.
Nami will have to be gutted in the future. She's too powerful.
Yeah.
We just don't have it yet.
She gotta go to 4 mana.
She's gonna have to go to 4 mana at least. They already nerfed her, and they nerfed a lot of things around her. But I think Aikato's totally got the right of it. They're gonna print 1 card, fuck up, and Nami's gonna dominate everything.
Yeah, 100% agree. It's just kind of like Mono Shurima. It was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. There's gonna be enough Shurima cards, and this is gonna go from dog poop to really fucking good. And that's right now. The interesting thing though about Mono Shurima is it too good?
No.
Because I don't think it's too good, but it is oppressive. It does feel a bit oppressive. Like some decks kind of get pushed out by it. I don't know if that matters or not.
I
because
think
here's what it really is, and this comes up all the time. Stop trying to fucking balance it. Stop. It's not happening. Something's always the best. Something's always the best. Something's always out of balance. It's always going to happen. So instead, just keep it fresh. Just always fresh. Right? That's. Mono Shurima's the best. Nope. Now fucking Deep's the best. Nope. Now Lee Sin's the best. Now Felion's the best. Now Aggro's the best. Now Control's the best. Now Midrange is the best. Just keep shuffling it around. Trying to balance it, I think is it's just not going to happen. It's it's a waste of time. Because and here's a good example. Last season, pretty damn balanced. I know you roll in arms, yada yada. But if you look at the ladder, there is a more deck diversity than I've ever seen. I think since I started playing. So many different decks, but it was a bunch of old decks that we've been playing for forever, and it was super boring, and nobody wanted to play them. So I think just as long as,
which is miserable.
Yeah, fucking touch that thing. That's where I'm at with balance. There's no balance. Things to be more just balanced. Just new.
But I want them balanced in my favor.
Exactly, I know. This is why we look forward to balance patches more than we look forward to new card releases, which is really messed up. If you think about it, and it's because the new card releases don't do as much to affect the meta as the balance patches do, or they do in
a really bad way.
Yeah, Ezreal Kennen, or Azir or anytime they push hard, Ari whatever. Anytime they push hard, it's oh nope, this is too fucking busted, and then they have to nerf it down, and it's okay, back to the old decks again. It's no.
The Ionia self-recall decks got nerfed 4 times in a row.
Oh, Azir got nerfed a bunch of times too, right?
Yeah. It was the hotfix that changed Wayfinder to make one or the other, right? To stop Ezreal Kennen and Seedling.
And Seedling at the same time. That was huge.
And Seedling at the same time, so it's one. And then it was Wayfinder got nerfed again, right?
Did it?
Now then it only summoned 1.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Yes.
And Ari went to a 2/2.
And then Twin.
So I guess it's only 3. But still, it was bam, bam, bam.
It was a lot of stuff. Yeah, Ari went to a 2/2.
It needed most of those, to be fair. And Twin needed to get nerfed. It's just kind of sucky that it piled on top of all the other nerfs that archetype got, because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and again, I keep coming back to this. Trying to do these little changes, and it's oh, not enough. It's no, just take the freaking hatchet and just slam into things, and then just buff a bunch of other crap and be here's so many changes, it's going to take you guys a solid month to sort through that. Go. And then by the time we're hey, we figured it out, this is the best thing. And they're guess what? Hatchet, buff, go. New cards, go. And hey, another month. That's what they need to be doing. And that's what they used to do, right? We used to have 2-week balance patches and stuff. Craziness.
Nope.
You're shaking your head because that's not true, or
we never. Yeah, it just kind of felt like it. I remember kind of thinking the same thing.
I thought at the beginning that's what they
maybe when you and I started playing.
I think I'm parroting Nick Mix plays.
Yeah, I remember kind of thinking the same thing, but I saw a video. I think it may have been the Skilled Roy, who puts out really good content, by the way. And it was about the history of like balance changes and how many changes we've got, and we have had more in like the last couple of months than we have in any other period of time in like of that. I believe. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it was like it just yeah, we're just looking back and
Well,
being
I
like, we
mean,
used to get
last
so
year,
many things.
bro, last year we went through the Shuriman Desert. Remember how fucking
Yup.
vast that shit
And
was?
yeah, yeah. TF Fizz,
Jesus.
Azirelia, miserable.
Yeah, but explain that joke to anyone that like maybe wasn't playing a year ago.
Okay, so we had the Stream of Desert was a Azirelia. So it was Azirelia was like the best deck, and it was super incredibly polarized, and it absolutely curb stomped things, and it was not fun to play against. And then we were waiting on a patch to come so that they'd hot fix it. And then they didn't hot fix it, but somewhere in the description of the patch, they talked about how it was like the next set was coming out or something. I think that's what it was. The next set was coming out. And it started off with the Shuriman Desert is vast. And so when we talk about the like dearth, the lack of changes we talk about how vast the Shurima Desert is.
So vast, bro. Bro,
So
so
vast, man.
fast. It just
Yep.
goes
So if
on
anyone talks about
forever.
how vast the Shurima Desert is, they mean that we haven't gotten changes in a while.
Yeah, that was some rough times. And now it's
Quality
crazy.
meme.
Now we got this, yeah, quality meme indeed. Now we got this big patch, and then like another one in a month.
And champion reworks. No, like stuff's happening.
And champion
Yeah.
reworks. But like, do you think this cadence is gonna like keep going? Because maybe this is like they did say this is kind of like what they were trying to go for, but then like in December they go away for a week, and then in March they go away for a week. And like as much as I'm sure that's good for the company and morale and stuff, like your game's got to get stuff done. Like we got, and that's why that's why the thing got pushed back a whole month. March was brutal.
When they were talking about this patch, they were like, yeah, November when we started this patch, Yordle and Arms wasn't really a big deal. And I was like, November? What? That was
actual?
5 months ago. What do you mean when you started this patch? Yeah.
Okay, started.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they do things slow. They take their time. They're methodical.
Do things very slow, right? It takes their time. But yeah, honestly, like this month and this coming month are looking to be like incredibly exciting. Incredibly exciting. Like just this patch is awesome. And then we know we have another balance patch coming and champion reworks. Like there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and then right after that we have Jin and all the other like crazy champions coming out. I'm actually pretty hyped for that. I don't normally get too excited for like what do you call spoilers or whatever. I'm like, I don't know, we'll see it when we see it. But I'm like, oh, that's kind of a game changer.
It's a very cool idea. Yeah.
And also it's just like a little like, and that's just like the first thing they're doing after they have all the regions released. And I'm like, okay, maybe we're finally getting into it. Because like for the longest time, like why is everything?
How long have I been saying that for? How long have I been saying that for?
Yeah, you've been saying it for a long time. Yeah, and I think you are very correct. Because I mean, if you were wrong, that would be bigger issues.
No, if I was wrong, this would be a problem.
The Titanic was sinking. Like, no, actually, like all the holes will hold. We're fine. Like, okay, well, either you're right or we're just all dead. So
yeah, or we're screwed. Yeah.
All right. Any closing thoughts? Think we should wrap up on?
Nope. I'm gonna go try that deck out, and I'm probably gonna like sit there and shake my head, going, "I hate this," as I win. It's probably what's gonna happen.
Then don't do it. Then don't do it. Go play.
I play every
something
deck.
else.
I play every deck at least once. Gives me a good understanding of what's going on.
I'm gonna let me know exactly what you're doing. I'm gonna queue up some tree, which just happens to be your least favorite deck and a bad matchup.
Be like, I hate this so much. I mean, maybe I'll be like you. Maybe I'll play it and I'll be like, you know what? I'm enjoying this. It could happen. I'm gonna keep an open mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of intricacies to the deck. Really, like, use your big brain. Think about it. The timing of things is really important. There's a lot of play to it, and that's what's making me really enjoy it. And the ass kickings I'm doling out. It's also quite nice.
All right, I'll check it out.
All right,
that's all I got.
We're out of here, everyone. Next Saturday, April the 9th, free $500 tournament starting at like 9 a.m. I think Pacific. The two gorgeous gentlemen you are staring at right now will be casting it, and we'll see you guys over there. Actually, I guess we'll see you Friday. Oh, Tuesday, and then Friday, and then Saturday. All right. We're out. Bye.